I think it is safe to say that the school system is under more pressure now than ever before. And this pressure is definitely being felt by those forest school leaders and woodland leaders that work within or with a school. There's increasing pressures, and I see it all the time across Facebook groups, see it talking to people firsthand, and whether it's the class sizes doubling, the amount of time halving, the pressure increasing to provide curriculum linked activities and outcomes, there's basically a lot of pressure coming down from the top levels and making it more difficult to deliver what we call the gold standard forest school sessions. We're taught as forest school leaders all about the things that a successful forest school needs, the things that really need to be able to call it forest school. We need those low child to adult ratios, we need those qualified leaders, and we need time, and time most of all. We need both time within a session within a day to really start to explore, and we also need time as in consistency of time, so that the same children can come out again and again, and we can start to build and scaffold that learning further. And that is really what will deliver the greatest benefits. I mean, that's why we do forest school, is because forest school has been developed as one of the best techniques for holistic child development. So developing the whole child, providing really amazing outcomes. And as soon as you start compromising on one of those rules, then in essence you are starting to diminish the outcomes you can get from sessions. And that's, as I said, where forest school leaders within schools are increasingly being asked to make difficult decisions. It's like the number of children that come to my session have been doubled. The amount of time I have is halved. They want me to link it to this topic, to that topic. They want to provide all of this. Is taking away from my ability to lead good sessions and to create good outcomes for these children. And it is a difficult place, because on the one hand you really want to argue it's forest school or nothing, that you really want to attach the thumb screws and go, this is what I will do and no more. It's like, no, I will not accept any more children in this class. If you want to build a forest school for those children, you're going to have to hire more staff, get more people in, and you really want to argue and fight tooth and nail for forest school, and you should. But at the same time, as many people are finding, you also want to provide the best you can for the children with what you have. And that any outdoor time, we've seen time and time again, any time outdoors is more valuable for children than ever before. They need this outdoor time, and you don't want to deprive them by saying, no, this forest school or nothing. And so you start moving more towards outdoor learning and just taking the children outside, just let off steam, but knowing as well that you're not going to get outcomes you want. And you really want to argue that point, but at the same time you want to be realistic. It's much more difficult if you are employed by a school, obviously, because basically they are your line managers. Self-employed leaders like myself, we have more options. We can say, okay, well, if this is what I offer forest school, it offers with these ratios. If you are employing me for this session, if you're hiring me for this, I will only work with this number of children maximum. I need at least this many adults, and this is what I will provide in evidence back to you. And you can essentially say, okay, well, if you're not willing to accept this, then I'm going to go find a different school to work with. And you have a lot more power. And that same power is there for me, and I personally, because of this, choose not to work with schools most of the time. I do occasionally work with schools, and I trained as a teacher. I've worked within the school system, and I know that I personally can't work within those limitations, because I know I'm not delivering the best that I can for the children that are in my care. And that led me to leave the school system, because I knew I couldn't provide everything that the children deserved. So yes, it's very much a conundrum, but I think in most cases it's a matter of doing what you can with what you have. And that if you can push and can kind of start moving that envelope, you might start off with 30 children for half an hour, and you might go, okay, and go to the management and go, okay, we have these children, these 30 children for half an hour. The outcome, what outcomes do you want us to achieve? If all it is for them to blow off steam, then sending them running around the playing field might just work. But if they want anything more than that in outcomes, then this is your chance to argue your case. Say, okay, if you want these outcomes, this is what I need to achieve them. These are the numbers. I'm going to need at least 2 hours. And it might be a bit of bargaining, and you might end up only getting an hour, but it's still double that initial half an hour. So you can start moving the envelope, start arguing. If you want outcomes, if you want sessions delivered safely and effectively, then something's got to change. And this is the direction I want to go in. This is where there are bits and pieces of forest school research out there. Ask our Facebook group, chances are you'll get some really helpful people that can point you in the right direction. But it's proven that forest school is beneficial. But it's not forest school. If it's not forest school, you won't get the same benefits. That's just it. Schools can't have their cake and eat it. They can't just pay lip service to forest school and they expect it to deliver all of the benefits that it could. So my heart goes out to the people that are struggling within the system, and as I said, I can't do that personally. I don't have that strength or ability to compromise. I'm an all or nothing person. But I just want to say that just keep doing good stuff, keep pushing the envelope, keep holding people accountable, pushing those outcomes, going, okay, this is what I can provide, but if you want me to provide more, if you want to provide better outcomes for these children, then we've got to change something. So there you go. I think I'll leave it there. Hope I've given you some food for thought, and if it's been helpful for some of you. So remember, make the most of every day, and I will see you all next time.